And we're back, episode 4 of the Hoop 365 show. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first few episodes. I've had a really fun time making them. I'm really starting to like doing this more and more often. And I'm going to try and come with different stuff every day. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about the NBA more times than not, but I will slide in little tidbits about tips and pointers and different breakdowns and reactions to things in the basketball world as a whole. And that's what's going to be on tonight's episode. We're going to be talking about something that people have reached out to me on TikTok about and just some fun questions that they ask. And so if you ever have a question or anything like that, hit me up on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and I'd love to talk whatever the question may be. And it gives me a good topics and good things to talk about for the episodes and the channel that I'm doing here. So I appreciate that. I do got to talk a little NBA first, though. So I'll jump right into that because last night we had a great game. Obviously, with the Nets and the Cavaliers, it was a double OT game. KD, Kyrie went off. James Harden had double-digit assists. Once again, like I said in episode 2 and 3, you can get used to that. That's going to be a common theme for the Nets. KD's going to have his games. Kyrie's going to have his games. James Harden most likely going to have double-digit assists. But last night, man, Colin Sexton, woo! He tore them apart. He was in one of them zones, if you're a hooper, one of them zones where you just can't miss. Like, you are possessed. Like, anything you throw up feels like it's good and it goes in. He was in one of those zones. Like, the basket looked like an ocean and he was shooting paper balls into the ocean. Like, it was one of them nights that is just special as a player that you'll remember forever. One of those nights you're like, damn, I had 42 last night. And I could not miss. Like, everything I shot was going up. Because Kyrie, all he could do was smile. Like, he was getting a good contest, everything. Colin Sexton was lighting him up and just lighting the whole team up in general. He's getting in the lane, doing his thing. But I just got to give a shout-out to Colin Sexton, man. That was a great game to watch. Super fun performance to see. And he's continually got better since the All-Star break last year. I mean, that seems forever ago, but he has just improved his jump shot, his overall game so much. And Sexland is real. And last night, obviously, the land part wasn't there with Darius Garland out, but it got sexy. And it was real sexy on those Nets last night. So shout out to Colin Sexton one more time because those are the performances NBA fans love to watch. And it just lights up NBA Twitter and NBA social media in general from the players and the fans and everyone involved. So shout out to him. Great game to watch. Nets obviously don't have a ton to worry about. They're going to get a lot of good players' best shots, a lot of teams' best shots because they got a target on their back, right? They got 3 of the best guys in the league. So everyone's going to come gunning for their head. They're going to want to beat them. And we're going to see a lot of good performances against them because people are going to try and shut them down, do their thing because obviously it's going to go crazy on every platform, and people are going to be like, damn, you see what he did to the Nets? You see what happened to the Nets last night? So, awesome game to watch. But what I really wanted to get into tonight was asked about it on TikTok last night, was asked about it in the recent past on TikTok, and I think it's a fun question because I'm super passionate about it, and it's something that allowed me to play college basketball, allowed me to get offers to play basketball, and really made me a valuable asset to my team through most of the levels of my life. And it's how to be a good defender, what makes you a better defender, or how do you be a better defender. You get the point. But I think there's a lot that goes into that, and I've compiled a little list of things that I always try to do and things that I've heard great coaches, great players say that you needed to have. And it's a list that I've put together personally, but there's a lot of things that I've taken along the way from other people and try to use myself or help other people when they ask that question. So number 1 is a mindset, man. You can't be scared of the moment. You can't be scared of the opponent. You can't be scared to put yourself out there. Having the mindset of that fearless mentality, or that Mamba mentality, if you will, to put yourself out there, willing to be embarrassed, willing to have a fool made out of yourself, aka being someone that's willing to get dunked on, someone that's willing to get crossed, or someone that's willing to just have something like that happen to them in a game, in an open gym setting, yes, that may be one play and it could be bad. You may be on a poster or whatever, big deal. You got to be willing to do that if you want to be a good defender. You got to be willing to take those things because they happen in the game of basketball, especially when you're going against good players. Good players are bound to do those things to you, so you can't be scared when that happens. You can't be worried about it. You can win 9 out of 10 times. So that one time, you can't sweat it. And that mindset is huge. Having that fearless mentality is really the kind of the starting point of being a good defender. And then I would say going into knowing who or what you're going up against. What is the player that you're guarding good at? What do they like to do? Are they someone that shoots a lot of threes? Are they someone that drives hard with their left hand? Really pay attention to their tendencies. Every player has some sort of tendency or some sort of move that they like to go to. So really understand what they like to do. You can tell that in warm-ups, film. The first couple minutes you're shooting around, if they can shoot it well or whatever it is. So really know what you're going up against. Are they someone that's quick? Are they physical? Do they like physicality? Really use those things that you notice or those moves that they practice on film or maybe before the game. Use that against them and you'll be better off because you already have a good idea of what they like to do. And say you don't know, you're going into a complete blind situation, maybe a tryout or something, you've never seen these people. Put them through the ringer right away. If you're guarding somebody, figure out what they can do. Maybe force them to their offhand. Do they drive well? Maybe they blow right by you and they finish really well with their offhand. But you got to put them through that test. Really start to test them if you don't know and figure those things out and then use them to your advantage. Give them a quick couple of things to see how they react, and that'll tell you a lot. So really know and figure out who you're going up against. That'll help you a ton in being a better defender. Number 3 is communication. Communication is obviously something that happens with you and your team. So you got to communicate with your team. I'm guarding them this way, or if you guys have a game plan, you got to communicate through that with that certain player or with that certain team. Talk to your teammates on what you saw, what maybe they saw, whether it's film or, like I said, before the game, open gym, any type of setting like that. Talk to your team. Obviously, it's not always that serious if it's like an open gym setting or whatnot. This is more game talk, but really talk to your team and tell them you want to hear them back, man. They're the eyes in the back of your head, so let them know you want to hear them. Have them talking to you. Be loud, be passionate about what you're doing, and tell them you want things to reciprocate that way. So number 4 is knowing your strengths. Like I said, if you know what they like to do, really use your strengths in your favor. Don't allow the offensive player to use your strengths against you. I'll say that again. Don't allow the offensive player to use your strengths against you. For example, if you're super strong and you're bodying up somebody really hard, don't let them to quick spin right off you. That's using your strength to their advantage. So use your strengths, whether that's quick feet, quick hands, good anticipation. Really use those strengths in your favor. If you got quick feet, you may be able to cut them off. Don't let them get in front of you. If you've got good hands, reach on opportunistic times. Don't just reach to reach. Take advantage of certain situations. Be decisive of when you use those quick hands. Really use your strengths to your favor. So I think most people know what their strengths are as a player, especially on the defensive end. If you're slow, you know you're slow. If you're fast, you know you're fast. If you have good anticipation, you probably get more steals than the other guys. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But the next one I would say is be tough. To be a good defender or to be a better defender, you got to be someone that's willing to take hits on the chest. You got to be taking drives to the chest. You got to be willing to take a charge. Doing those little things, getting on the floor, getting extra possessions for your team. So toughness goes on a mental and physical aspect. What are you providing from a toughness standpoint? I know a lot of people that would be better defenders, but they were just mentally weak or physically weak, so they didn't have that toughness factor, but they had all the other intangibles, super athletic, really good anticipation skills, and could really have a feel for the game, but they just weren't tough, and that killed the whole thing. So that toughness factor is huge. You got to be willing to take one on the chin and give it right back and get right back up if that happens. That's going to separate you from a lot of guys on the court, and that'll get you more playing time because you're willing to do those small things and you're willing to be that toughness or that tough pillar for your team, and your coach and the people around you will take notice of that. The next one is be disciplined. If you're someone that's always falling for fakes or getting in foul trouble because you're going for shot blocks that you know you probably can't get, that's not a sign of a good defender. A sign of a good defender is being disciplined, staying down on your feet, being the second jumper. If you're someone that can block shots, still try to be that second jumper. It'll help you stay out of foul trouble. You'll still get block shots. But that discipline factor is huge on whether you're a good defender or not. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, they're really disciplined on the defensive end. They're really opportunistic about when they try to go for steals, or they're decisive when they try to make that reach. So just be disciplined and don't overreach. Don't overextend yourself on the defensive end where you're making silly mistakes that end you up on the bench because of foul trouble and things like that. So being disciplined is huge on being a great defender. And lastly, what I think is huge for not only your team but yourself is bringing that energy onto the court. Being a good defender takes a lot of energy, and everyone can sense it right off the bat if you've got that energy or not. And when you're bringing that energy on the defensive end, your whole team's level rises on the defensive end. So be that person on the court that brings that energy and that confidence to the team that, hey, this team, they ain't scoring on us. And if they do, we're going to get back, get in a stance, and we're going to be someone that's going to really try to stop this team. They may be one of the highest scoring teams in the nation, whatever the case may be, but hey, that ain't flying on my watch today. Bring that energy, that confidence, that fearless mentality, and all these intangibles put together, and you will become a better defender. You will be a guy that makes it onto the court more often, because defense wins championships, as you heard. So being a good defender is priceless, and I don't care what level you're at, you will play more if you can really strap up on the defensive end. Your coach will love it, your teammates will love it, and your team will only be better because it's contagious, man. Being a good defender and really taking pride on that end is contagious, and it's going to help you personally and your team be better in the long run. So I hope that helps. That's some things. I'm sure I missed some things, but that's some things that I really pay attention to when I'm trying to lock up or help people be a better defender. So if there's something I missed, if you liked it, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I really enjoyed this so far and hope to continue doing it. Shout out to Pastime Sports app. You can find pickup games, create pickup games, private or public. Check out the Hoop365.com website, and see you later.